Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. A couple things I want to point out to you today, just everyday shit that people don't think about, and that are remarkably coincidental with the flat Earth. And right there in front of you, there to show you. Car's fixed, by the way, so this is the company car that I drive. I went on Mark Sargent's show last night, his radio show, and the best way to get on the show is to call, be one of the first 5 callers. Don't call at 11 o'clock at night. I had to wake up this morning at some ungodly hour in the morning, and so I spoke to him very quickly, and I said thank you, and hung up the phone. But I went into the what I was talking about last couple of videos was the advertising on the moon, and he agreed with me, in terms of that, because we all know there is no moon. You live on a flat Earth, guys. We're covered here with a dome. I want to get into one other thing too. At the end of this video, okay. Well, anyway, let me just start off with it. Anyway, we're going back in time right now. Okay, going back to 1986. Yes, that's right. Some of you weren't even born yet. Well, I was. I was a young boy, young man, shall we say, back then, being indoctrinated in the system. Well on my way to wearing a suit and working for a corporation. A suit basically is a prison suit. You realize that, right? The only difference is that you're actually paying for this, and you've got to clean it once a week. That's what I consider suits now. Okay, welcome. You're in prison. Now you'll work for this corporation for the next 30 years, and when we lay you off and you're 65 years old, you got to go look for a job. And you lose your pension, whatever. Okay, see? I drifted a little bit there, sorry. Okay, so we're going back in time. We're going back to a time where Halley's Comet, which visits our planet, it's not a planet, our flat plane, once every 75, 76 years. They're not really quite sure about that. They just make these numbers up. But anyway, that's when it appears in the Amazing Light show up there, which was planted by our creator, of course. I don't know why he or she did that up there. I have no idea. Maybe to keep us on our toes. I don't know. So anyway, the last time it came by was 1986. And if you missed that, well, you're shit out of luck, because the next time it's going to come by is in 2061. So that's a long ways away from now. 40 years. Almost, a little over 40 years. So anyway, my point is with Halley's Comet, I want you to think about this for a second. Okay? You got this supposed sun, scientists say, hold in all the planets. The gravitational pull of the sun is so strong, it holds in all the planets in our solar system, including Pluto, okay? But yet, it doesn't suck in this little comet, which I'm not even really sure how big it is. Half a mile, I don't know. Who cares? These freaking numbers, they make them up all the time. And doesn't get sucked in with the gravitational pull of the sun. Okay. Now, what people are going to say is, the correlation of the size of the moon, the size of Saturn, the planets, coincide with the gravitational pull of the sun, and that's why the size of Halley's Comet doesn't get sucked into the sun. Bullshit! I don't buy any of it. It's crap. There is absolutely no way a comet could be orbiting our sun and not get disrupted and get sucked into the gravitational pull of the sun. There's just no way. It's impossible. Okay, the gravitational pull would be too intense. It would, forget it. If you can't see that, if you can't see this, the lies that are right there in front of you. Now, I remember seeing Halley's Comet. It was a long time ago, but I do remember it. And I want you to think about something else with these comets that are passing by. Never will you ever see one on the horizon. Ever. It'll always be up in the sky up there. It'll either be 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever the exact time, in terms of the clocks. It's always going to be up there. It's never going to be right on the horizon. You'll never see it there. You know why? Because it doesn't exist. It's not real, okay? It's an amazing light show up there. All of this, the gravitational pull of the sun would suck this comet in there. It would be engulfed. It would have never, ever, and they say that the Halley's Comet travels through our entire solar system, just outside of Pluto, okay? Oh, man. I mean, it's just such bullshit. It really is. I mean, that right there. So, if you're around in 2061, don't forget to watch it. But by then, we'll be long into flat Earth, and economic collapse will already have happened, and the real truth will be coming out. But the Earth globes will be worth quite a bit of money on our flat plane. Okay, there's one thing I mentioned about the stars, the other video that I made, and I remember seeing somewhere. I forgot to mention in that video. I remember seeing somewhere. I think it was in a History Channel or something like that. That when somebody actually looked at the different galaxies in our space, which is not true, but they were stacked right on top of each other, almost like we were meant to see them. All right. And so people are going to say, if they don't exist, then how can they tell the speed of light? How can they tell how far away? Because they can't. These numbers are made up that they're doing, okay? All of it's bullshit. It's a mathematical computation that mathematicians use to figure out how far away these things are, and they don't even realize that it's fake, because it works out on paper to them. That's what mathematics does, okay? People say it's there to disprove things. Yeah, it is. It is. But, when you're given one computation to figure out this and that, you're going to come up with an answer, and you're going to think it's real. All right? See, I'm getting off of this. Okay, so my point is, a lot of people think there's souls up there. All right? And they very well could be. All right? It makes a lot of sense. All right? Maybe they're little peeping holes for the Creator to watch us. I don't know. I have no idea. But I want you to think about this. We used to have these little things, and they're still out there too. They're like 3D little, it's flat and it looks 3D because there's layer upon layer upon layer of the picture on there. So when you reflect it in a light, it actually looks 3D, but it's thin as paper. All right, we've all played with those things as we were kids. And I think they're still around too. They're pretty neat. They look really cool. They actually, the one I just recently saw looked really, really realistic. Much better than the ones we had when I was a kid. Anyway, so that's what I believe the stars are like too. I think if they are inside the dome, if they are inside the firmament, which would make sense, that there's probably layers of them in there, So this firmament up there must be enormously thick, all right? And so when you take a high-powered telescope, like the Hubble, well, no, that doesn't exist. Just picture any, a recreational telescope we can get our hands on that's semi-affordable. When you look in on that, it actually does appear that they're further away from each other. Meanwhile, they're just on the dome and they're only, I don't know, probably 80 miles up there, 100 miles, 200 miles. I don't know. I don't know how far it is up there. I have no idea. Just throwing numbers out there. All right. So I want you to think about that too. Layers upon layers upon layers of that sun. And that's probably how they can substantiate how far away these objects up there are. The amazing light show that we have up there, the incredible light show that has fooled us from the beginning. I want you to think about something else with the simulation, okay? With a plausible possibility beyond flat Earth. I want you to think about us, and I want you to think about the animals around us. Okay. We all share one thing in common with them. Survival. No matter how small they are, or how minuscule they are, they all want to survive. They don't want to die. And they have this imprinted in their head. Possibly in their program. I don't know. I really don't know. I was watching it's going to sound weird, but I was watching a squirrel the other day. On my lunch hour, I was eating lunch. I had to go to the office. And I saw this little baby squirrel, really cute. and he was hopping from tree branch to tree branch, and he was hopping from tree to tree. But he had to figure out how he can get to the other tree without dying, falling, if you know what I mean. But his instincts automatically kicked on, and he was going to go onto that branch all the way up in the very top. And I said, no, don't do it. That's not strong enough. He knew that immediately. He went down a little bit, sniffed around, found another branch, and got himself to the other side of the other tree. All right. But I'm using this as an example that every animal out there shares one thing in common with us, shares one particular program in common with us, I believe, possibly. Don't hold me to it. Is that we might not be able to communicate to them, but we all want to survive. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. I thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Did I say it's April 18th, 2018? All right, well, that's the date anyway.